catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID 19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Torresito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.
Hello everyone and Katribu. I'm Dina Ventura.
And I'm Francine Marquez.
And welcome to PairFect.
Well, Dina, it's the time of the week again.
And what time is that, Francine?
Well, when we get to meet the most interesting people on the planet. And this time, yes, planet. And this time, we're going to meet a pair who come from the creative industry, the events community.
Yes, everybody misses those kinds of events that we're going to talk about this afternoon.
And yet, I think events is still an essential, especially since people want to celebrate their own birthdays, weddings, gatherings, reunions. Yes.
And yet, I think events is still an essential, especially since people want to celebrate their own birthday.
Okay. We heard a certain sound from somewhere, so but
sorry about that.
Yes, it's really the time of the week. But anyway,
So
that was. So our first guest,
I'm so excited.
Yes, our first guest is a sought-after event stylist. So popular that in fact he had a master class last year that had about 70 participants from all over the world.
Nice.
And yet he has remained so humble and kind, but very well detailed, to the point that even celebrities and A-listers have asked him to do their personal celebrations.
Wow.
And he is no other than Teddy Manuel.
Wow. Welcome, Mr. Teddy
Hello,
Manuel.
everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me on your show.
Our other
I'm
guest.
so excited.
Yes, we're so excited to talk with you both. Our second guest is equally well known in this industry. She's one of the leaders of her field and the founder and CEO of Kim Torres Events. That's an events planning and concerts organizer, all kinds of events she handles. So please help us welcome the beautiful Kim Torres.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Christina.
Hello.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
You know, Francine, we were supposed to interview them last week, but there was this big typhoon.
Yes.
So how were you during the typhoon? What happened?
Did you have events during that time? that were
Yeah.
canceled?
I was in Bataan that time. I was like with the friends. We're celebrating his birthday. Sir John, belated happy birthday. And I was stuck there for a day because apparently North Expressway, there was like a beach that collapsed and flooding are starting. So we delayed it for a day, and then I that's why I'm coordinating with Kim if we're gonna push through, because we thought that it's quite parang because there's brownout and no internet, so parang we cannot reach out most of our televiewers or guests. So, and good thing, we are sensitive enough to call it off, and we have it rescheduled so that we have more, friends that can watch us this afternoon.
How about you, Kim? Nasaan ka nung bagyo?
I was waiting for the advice if we're pushing through nga. But then I rushed to help some of my people kasi affected. So, yun. So, yun na yung pinaka-allowance type ko since na-cancel tayo. to prepare what I can bring to their houses.
See, parang even during mga crisis, they're so busy pa din, ano?
Oo nga.
But before we go on any further, parang kwentuhan nyo naman kami. We're very interested to know how both of you started in your professions. So maybe we can start with Mr. Teddy. How did you begin your business?
Way back how many years ago? Like 18 years ago, to be exact. I was like working in a corporate field. I was working in an airline.
Wow.
Kasi I graduated as aeronautical engineer.
Wow.
So I major in air transport engineering. So I'm supposed to work in a tower, as an air traffic controller. So while waiting for my license that time, I tried to work na. Sabi ko, parang naiinip na ako. So I worked for an airline as a ground crew. No? And then after that, parang, yeah, I'm happy with my work. Pero, the feeling na parang you drag yourself every day to work. Na parang, sige, this is like, that's why my prayer, I was like praying that time. Sabi ko nga dun sa Baclaran, kasi it's near the airport. Sabi ko, lead me to a place or to a job that will make me happy. So, that was my prayer. So, I don't know what kind of job it is or what kind of place it is. Basta my prayer was what makes me happy. And then na-unfold na siya na parang, okay, Teddy. So eventually, event styling was an emerging industry way back 2000. So ilan pa lang yung event stylist. Parang ang mga kilala lang noon, mga caterer or florists.
Yes.
But the event stylists that focus on transformation, the creating ambience, conceptualizing for the theme, and then creating a concept or a mood board for the client, hindi pa siya uso noon. So kami yung maybe mga second batch of mga event stylists that introduced that transformation to the client. So when I do transformation, kasi parang bumalik yung during high school days, I love theater, I love, I love interior design, I love home economics. Alam niyo ba, home economics queen ako ng grade 6 ako. So, I love it. Yeah, we work with Francine, with Sharon Magazine.
Yes, of course. One of the
You mentioned
favorites.
earlier. So, we do editorials, no? Parang I
Yes.
always like, during that time, I was working at the same time, nag-freelance na ako event stylist.
Yeah.
And then, I do, even I'm just a freelance, I do covers na for magazines. So, I have mga photo shoots, editorials for magazines. So, sabi ko, Lord, ito na ba yung sign na binibigay mo sa akin na that I need to, parang to reroute my career or to detour. And then, I listen, and then, ayun, it was a history na tama, na ito nga yung, this is the things that makes me happy. Na I don't mind sleepless nights, parang working early in the morning and going back home the next 2 days. Kasi it's very fulfilling to see my bride and groom or my debutants or other celebrants, yung feeling na nakikita mong sobrang happy sila sa nakikita nila because of your work. So, yun yung quick history ko.
Wow. Teddy, how old were you when you first really took on event styling professionally?
I think I was like 23 or 24.
Di ba 23 or 24 ka lang ngayon? Okay, so...
I think it's important that you love and you're passionate in what you do because hindi siya magta-transpire, hindi siya magre-reflect sa, you will not go, parang hindi ka tatanda. Because it brings you joys and happiness. I think that's very important and you're passionate about it. So I think that's one way of keeping you parang happy disposition and looking young.
Walang ka-wrinkles eh.
And I will attest to that kasi when Teddy and I were working for that magazine, he was such a sweetheart. We just tell him, Teddy, we need an English-inspired brunch for a wedding, and it's for a table setting, or an Asian-inspired dinner. And then he'll just ask, when do you need it? Like tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then he'll deliver. Amazingly, he'll deliver.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the kind of professionalism and passion that
brought him forward
that was
and
already
upward.
there
Thank
earlier.
you.
Yeah. And so for Kim, what we'd like to know also is how was your professional journey? What brought you to become an events planner? When did you start? When did you realize that this is it? This is what you want to do all along.
Before that, kanina, when Sir Teddy mentioned 18 years ago, so realize ko, nasan ba kami 18 years ago?
Damn! Wag ka na
Sorry.
High school ka pa na, elementary.
Elementary.
Ako naman, 10 years ago, I graduated. I graduated, major in broadcasting in LPU Manila. So back then, before I graduated, nagkaroon ako ng internship with production houses. So for example, si Unitel Productions. So right then, after I graduate, trabaho kagad. Kasi single mom yung mommy ko kailangan tayo din ako. So after that, dalawa kagad yung work ko. I work under production, which is more of TVCs and TV, and then nag-work na rin ako kagad sa one-stop shop for events. So since well-trusted ako ng boss ko, for 5 years, binigyan niya ako ng sabak. Like, sige, mag-direct ka na. Sige, mag-coordinate ka na. And then since one-stop shop siya, all around din ako. Like, I do photography, videography, and then coordination, EA, lahat na-try ko po talaga from scratch. Yung tipong taga-timpla ng kape before, I even tried that.
Wow.
And then purely, self-study. So, but you know what you want to learn talaga, kahit sobrang dami mo pang hats that time, eventually you will go down dun sa pinakamahal mo talaga. So,
Ganda.
in 5 years time, which is yun, I want to credit yung 5 years company na pinagtrabuhan ko kasi without that trust, I wouldn't be here. So thank you to Sir Michael Paisna Creatives. And then I studied under Berlin Yap of Weddings Beautiful. That's parang major in weddings. So 3 months din po siya, nakatulong din. So mas minahal ko po yung coordination. But then, mga around 20s ka, parang 25, gano'n, may pressure ka, you will feel na I need to grow. I need to explore more. Saan ba talaga ako? What's my future? Diba? So, I resigned and then I went to the Typing Sisters. Kasi doon talaga, yun yung year na sobrang confused ako. What will I do? I need to explore more. So, meron akong offers from different countries like Singapore, which is a corporate work. Pero hindi ko like, diba? Parang natakot ako kasi hindi ginagawa ako And then, since I pray, kaya ako na-mention si Pink Sisters kasi I asked for signs, which is very true. Sabi ko, sabi ko, Lord, bigyan mo ako ng short-term clients. Pag may short-term clients ako, I will put up my own business. So, I had my 10 clients right then and then. So, ang problema ko, pera. Kasi business
Capital,
It's so well off na tao. So, sabi ko, another sign, Lord. Pag kasi si Sherard, my partner in Wishing Well, wala kami parehong budget to put up a business. So sabi namin, another sign, if papautangin tayo ng parents natin na worth 250,000 each, that's a sign. So I tried, kasi magkano po yung drone before? That's 120,000 to 150,000. Diba? Drone pa lang, what more yung mga cameras? Kasi scratch talaga. So, that's the time dumating si Wishing Well sa buhay namin. That's 2015. And then, the services is videography and coordination. Hindi na siya one-stop shop. Kasi I learned to trim down what I want to do. So, along the way, I met a lot of people. Parang ako nakalabas sa lungga. Iba pala kapag empleyado ka, na lumabas. Tapos, you have your own, makipagsapa lang ka talaga from scratch. I met my fairy godmothers, like si Sir Mike, si Sir Teddy, si Sir Ged, si Miss Marby, a lot of people, even Sir Jason. And Third Avenue, yun yung nagkaroon ako ng opportunity to direct concerts, direct worship concerts, direct MTVs. Sobrang dami po na parang, if you were real during the pandemic, ang dami ko na rin po pala talagang nasabak na hindi ko alam na kaya ko palang gawin. So, along the way, you'll have to trim down pa rin Hindi ka po pwedeng dala-dalawa yung ginagawa mo. So, eventually, last year, I launched Torres events, which is focusing on coordination and directing na. So, si video na dyan pa rin as Wishing Well. Parang nagkaroon lang siya na sariling brand niya. So with the help of, again, my fairy godmothers, diba talaga, parang Cinderella. Ayun, si Sir Mike and si Miss Marby Go during the Inspired Beginnings. Sobrang doon ko na feel na, ay, kaya ko pala. Kaya ko pala ganito rin. And then, syempre di natapos doon. Nagkaroon ng pandemic this year.
Yeah.
Ito naman with help of my fairy godmother then, Teddy Manuel. And Sir Mike, ito na yung nagkaroon ako ng life by Kate. Kasi, di ba, the pandemic started last March. And then we started having these different kinds of virtual interviews and virtual events. So, from Safe Events, meron kasi tayong parang group from wedding industry na nag-put up ng, how do you call that? Parang community to help each other. Parang sabi nila, oh, ikaw na lang, Kim. Parang pinasok ako ni Ikoy, one of the planners din na gumawa ako ng parang technical ako, tech director to do the virtual show. And not, I don't think I'm techie, parang gano'n. But I'm willing to learn. So I started learning. I learned, I studied, I invested. So doon na nag-start yung journey ko to have life by Kita. So yun yung journey ko na from scratch down to the pandemic. Meron akong lumalabas na parang blessing in disguise na meron pa pala ang capabilities to do the following services. But with the help, of course, and support of your family, co-suppliers, clients.
Oh, pareho sila, Francine, na merong spiritual guidance din, no?
Divine intervention.
Divine intervention, tama.
I think it's also called destiny.
Destiny.
It was meant to be, no?
Oh.
But
That's true.
right now, we want to find out, can you describe to us what your recent engagements have been? What was it like? How did you design or create the events? Maybe we'll start with you, Teddy. How is it like during quarantine?
Pandemic times.
Do you still do amazing floral arrangements? How does it go? Or is it more toned down?
Parang for me, no. Kasi you know what? Last March, I think March 15 or March 16, I have a celebrity wedding, supposedly. I think na-declare ata tayo na quarantined March 17, right? So, we were like parang in shock. No? Parang, we were in shock. Parang, okay, what to do now? So, parang, of course, parang maglalas lang ba ito ng 1 week? Maglalas lang ba ito ng 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? So, of course, I'm very optimistic about that. But, right there and there, dapat kailangan ko mag-pivot or to think on how I can, how can I reinvent myself in this pandemic. So you know what? After na ma-declare yung pandemic, so marami ako mga flowers. So our couple decided to have it donated to different charities and hospitals. So ang daming flowers. So nag-create ako ng mga bouquet, ganyan-ganyan. And then sabi ko gano'n, why not i-video ko yung, i-video ko yung paano ko i-reuse yung flowers. And then sabi ko, oh my God, pag video ko to, ilalagay ko sa YouTube channel or ilalagay ko sa Instagram ko. So, naisip ko agad na, oh my God, siguro para hindi ako mawala o hindi ako, and at the same time, to be an inspiration for the rest of my event stylist friends, no? Kailangan kong to stand up for them. Alam kong depressing, alam kong ang daming refunds, ang daming cancellation. Pero as a senyora in the industry, I have to stand there. Parang, okay, guys, we have to unite. I have to take responsibility na parang I should be an inspiration. That's why I came up agad ng YouTube channel. After a week ng quarantine, ng ECQ, meron agad akong first episode with the help of Wishing Well or with Kim and Sharon. So I was yung YouTube channel ko, it was like 2015, 2016. Pero I have like three uploaded videos. And then sabi ko, oh my God, meron pala akong YouTube channel. Nakalimutan ko na pala lang kasi sobrang naging busy. And then I tried to be parang social media presence ko lang, parang binild up ko lang siya. Alam mo yun, I'm doing tutorial classes, and then I do like to reach out during pandemic. I called my mga alumni from my masterclass students. Oh, let's come up with face mask making out of floral. Alam mo yun? Or let's come up with a face shield challenge. And then let's come up with an April, parang pass the apron challenge. So I try to motivate them, no? Para kasi of course, they deviate na. They want to survive. Yung iba, they want to sell, like they do baking or they're selling food. But of course, sabi ko, your inner core is about creativity. So I'm here to para I'm here para to get in touch with that creativity. Huwag yung kakalimutan because sooner or later, babangon naman tayo at sabay-sabay. So, I hope magkita-kita pa rin tayo sa at the end of the tunnel. Parang ganun yung naging role ko during pandemic. Parang, and also for me, it's one way of coping up. Pag hindi ko siguro ginawa yun, baka,
Ikaw din.
oh my God, you're gonna consumed by those thoughts, no? Parang, hindi mo naramdaman yung productive. Sanay kang very productive at saka very busy. So I think yung doing those things, reaching out with other event stylists, doing tutorials and videos, gave me parang helped me to cope up with the pandemic that happened to us. So at the same time, once ngayon kasi gradually we're having an intimate wedding. So I think I'm also one of the few suppliers that start na intimate wedding na parang sa bahay na sobra kang natatakot because you don't know the safety protocols or what to do. So, but of course, kailangan ng guinea pig Alam mo yun, I have to be there.
Somebody has to start it.
I have to start something to gain the confidence of the client na, oh my, sa bahay ba to, Teddy? Ang ganda, nagkaroon ng backdrop, nagkaroon ng table, pwede naman. So, paano how safety protocols na in-apply mo? Okay, nagpapa-rapid test kami, alam mo yun. So, we don't want to at stake also the safety and health of the clients at home. So, gradually, alam mo yun, so you have to start something to gain their confidence para eventually we can start and move forward. Alam mo yun. So, of course, andyan ang pandemic, andyan ang COVID, hindi pa rin natin kailangang ma-off guard of safety protocols.
Oh, never. We should always be mindful, di ba?
So, total change.
It affected everyone talaga, especially their industry. So, Kim, ikaw na magkwento sa amin how you coped with the pandemic and its effects on your business. But before you answer that, let's pause for a short break.
Magsha-shopping na lang ako! #143SM. Call to deliver. Hello, can you get the following? One pink chair, bed sheets, na pink yung sofa, tapos slides, size 8, pajamas na blue. Oh, don't forget my #143SM. Call to deliver. Wait lang. Okay ba yan?
Anything at the SM store, ma'am.
Call to deliver. Kuya, pwede rin ba ako magpa-deliver sa ate ko sa Taguig, tapos sa friend ko sa Davao, tsaka sa cancel ko sa Lipa? Okay ba yan?
Kahit saan po, pwede kami mag-deliver.
Call to deliver. Call #143SM. Call to deliver. #143SM. Call to deliver. Call #143SM. #143SM. Call to deliver. Call na rin kayo. Call to deliver.
And we're back on PairFect. We're with Kim Torres and Teddy Manuel, two leaders in the events planning industry. So before we took a break, we were asking Kim to tell us a little bit about what her life was like during the pandemic, how it affected her business, and what did she do to cope with the challenges.
During the last pandemic, Sir Teddy knows, ang dami nangyari sa buhay ko. Personally, sa work, sobra. But we all have our choices. Super affected po ako personally sa mga nangyari rin personally and dun sa work ko because of the people around me. Ang daming, to the point na parang ayoko nang mag-social media because of all the negativity, of all the issues happening, parang gusto mo rin mag-Netflix na lang at matulog, di ba? But then again, you have a choice. So, lahat tayo affected. Hayaan mo bang mawala na rin yung business na pinaghirapan mo for 5 years if you just let it go, di ba? So, what I did, I maintain my social media presence. And then, I avoid the negativity. I avoided yung mga nonsense. So, nag-lean forward ako to join different kinds of organizations where I can help my community. Parang ganon. And then, actually, kami rin nila, Sir Teddy, yung magkakausap. Tulungan din kami what we can do. That's the time na nagkaroon ako ng virtual events. So, more of live streaming ako. I had this Battle of Champions. It's a competition, same competition with Ralph Kim. Host din siya. Actually, tulungan po talaga mga suppliers eh. And then, yung show po na yun, parang what we do, yung nananalo doon, beneficiaries po dun sa mga taong talagang nahihirapan na. So yun, parang more of talagang helping out. For the business naman, syempre, again, hindi rin nga ako well-off. So, by then na may konting naitutulong sa mga tao, para wag lang po silang ma-zero at magutom by that time. And then, ayun, again, hindi rin po pala kami nawalan ng work kasi we'll have to stick with our caucus as a coordinator. So, ever since the March, again, we have a choice. Since walang trabaho, pwede naman namin iwanan yung suppliers and yung couples kasi kami affected din. But then, I chose to be with them. I chose to be with the suppliers to help them reschedule all of the weddings to next year. What will be the contingency after contingencies. Ganun. So, parang ano pa rin, parang kami po yata yung napanday pero may work pa rin. Pero nawalan lang ng income. Pero okay lang kasi blessing pa rin na you are still doing something kasi sa wala. So, ayun, yung sabi nga po ni Sir Teddy kanina na parang you have to do something to help your co-suppliers. Be the inspiration na lang, di ba? Kasi sa'yo, ikaw po yung dragging to them, na-depress ka rin, madedepress na rin yung kasama mo. But if you are the happy person, di ba? They'll be happy for you too. Sila rin, makakalimutan na rin yung mga issues like now. So parang hindi ako masyado nahirapan to come back. Right after how many months ba tayo na lockdown? 4 months? 5 months?
3 months.
3 months, diba? 3 months.
ECQ
So,
and then
we had weddings last June and July na parang 10 people lang. So, hindi kami nahirapan because we have this social media presence of helping na rin. Ano ba pwedeng gawin natin? Next steps. Ano ba yung troubleshooting natin? So, may mga couples kami na 3 days before, gusto na nilang ituloy na lang yung kasal nila. So, dahan-dahan, every month, may improvement naman. Kaya happy as. Smiley face ako kasi parang regular na ulit eh. Pero nadagdagan lang po yung work talaga ng workloads ng suppliers kasi you have to apply talaga yung safety protocols. Like now, we have fear, diba? Every time we go out and join different kinds of people at work, diba?
Yes.
Yung fear eh. Pero kasi yung fear mo rin na magutom yung tao mo, diba? It's there. So, bahala na, at risk, you love your job, just make the wedding very memorable or the event memorable for your clients. At the end of the day, yung fear na yung mawawala. Just make sure to apply the safety protocol.
Yun na nga. So parang that's the major change siguro sa industry nyo. Kasi additional effort and time, I guess, no?
Yeah,
So-
tapos it really changed everything. Like, I know one event, dati okay lang, giveaways nyo, maybe a small token, ngayon face mask, giveaway na rin. Tsaka sanitizer, cute. Yeah.
And also the virtual meetings, no? Itong like what we're doing right now, the live, no? Parang we never thought na parang, before parang talagang we go to the traffic of an hour or 2 hours to meet your clients. And now,
Wala.
pwede naman pala mag-Zoom, pwede pala mag-Skype. So I think, ayun, at least na-educate din tayo na parang in a way na parang to save time and energy. You know what? This is what we do now. So most of our clients, we give them an option, physical meeting or Zoom meeting. So they have an options now. Parang this is also parang on the lighter side of the pandemic, naging tech savvy tayo lahat, di ba?
Yes.
Para cope up.
Yung mga tita natuto.
Exactly! Totoo yan. Pati mag-TikTok. Alam mo yun?
TikTok pwede marunong.
So, how else did it affect your business? Like, So, meron na ngayon, may additional technology, di ba? And then, choices. Pero, yung sa details, like, I know that there are rules now about the number of people you can have in an event, di ba? So, parang, how are you coping with that? Or can you tell us how it is right now for people who plan to have events of their own, di ba?
Or do you show up as the behind the scenes? Do you come in PPE or whatever?
Paano na ngayon? What if you want to put up an event and they want to hire your services? What are the things that people should know about putting up an event now, these days? Yon, I guess.
In you first.
Okay. Syempre, coordinator na una usually.
Of course.
Depende po sa couple, of course. Kasi meron din naman ng mga major suppliers like stylists or photo and video muna for the coordinator. Okay, for me po as a coordinator, we're all different. We have different kind of styles, di ba? Sa workflow natin. Ako, usually, I brief kasi my couple of the guidelines. The guidelines kasi it changes every week, every month, di ba? And then you'll have to know ano yung guidelines sa venue and churches. Kasi iba-iba po. Sobrang iba-iba. Mas maganda nga kung may list ka na lang of different venues with their protocols and then the church. Second, I usually meet my couple online lang kasi to avoid contact with them. Pero I usually go out with them for food tasting and ocular. So it indicates naman na I'm not limiting myself na, hindi tayo pwede mag-deal. Iba pa rin po kasi yung personal touch with the couple. Parang mas excited ka kasi you have a relationship na gain with the couple, diba? So yun, limited interaction physically, pero meron pa rin. And then, we invested a lot of equipment. So I bought my own acrylic guard shield for my registration. I bought UV light. I bought yung mga steamers. Kasi usually, in an event po. Yun nga po, dagdag work din talaga po sa amin. Kaya, dun sa mga humihingi ng discount, pag-isipan nyo muna. Ayun, so dagdag tao because of the dagdag loads. For example, during preparation, usually po bahay, hindi na hotel. Kasi not all hotels are operational. Iba na sa house lang nila. So, we have this equipment para upon arrival of before that pala, we usually send out health declaration forms online para may record kami ng guests namin and ng suppliers namin. So, upon arrival, contactless, meron po kaming laptop na naka-ready. Sa gate pa lang kung parking lot po ng bahay yan. Upon arrival of the suppliers, we check them, yung temperatures nila. Tapos kami na po nag-i-input dun sa laptop record namin. And then, sinasanitize po namin talaga yung mga camera bags nila before getting in sa house ng couple po namin. Because we also wanted to protect not just ourselves, but the client and the co-suppliers as well. So, prep pa lang po may gano'n na kami. And then, church, may gano'n po ulit, and then reception. Kasi, you don't know kung saan sila pupunta. Sometimes, it's okay to be OA, kasi sayong, not all, di ba? And then, we don't wear our PPEs, kasi I learned, but again, this is a different style of work naman, with different kinds of suppliers and businesses. So, ako, I don't wear my PPEs kasi, I had this interview one time na open ng doctor na the PPEs are only usually required sa mga ER. Parang yung pag-close contact ka talaga with the viruses. But again, I respect the others naman who wear that talaga kahit going out lang to the mall. So, importante po dyan, you wear the right mask and then you wear the right shields. Yun lang naman covered mouth, covered eyes, tapos never take it out if unnecessary. And then, we make sure din na nakapack po talaga yung meals, hindi talaga siya na nakakater. Kasi parang automatically, that's for the specific tao na kakain for that meal. And then, we wear gloves when touching the equipment or the items of the couple.
Ayun.
So yun, most likely, more of monitoring din na social distancing. Meron pa rin talaga kasi matitigas ang ulo, di ba? Di maiiwasan. So it's really up to them Kasi you have to remind. Pero, i-remind mo sila, it's up to you. Kung wala kang fear going home with your family, di ba? Kailangan lang may consent kang iniiwan sa kanya at the end of the day. Di ba? So yun, most likely, that's what I usually do and yun yung mga current na invested namin na gamit. To have
Ayun.
About, for Teddy naman, So I'm envisioning, if it's mostly done in the house, do you get to design sanitation tents or lalagyan ng mga face mask sa table? How does it go for your end of the styling?
Of course, ngayon talaga, nadagdag sa, for example, dati pagdating namin, diretso setup na kami. Ngayon, we have to undergo sometimes rapid testing or the antigen test. No? So, kaya ako, linggo-linggo, naku, sorry, ang sakit, umiiyak na yung ilong ko.
Tama for that.
Yun mo yung gano'n, swabbing.
Blood, yun. So we have to undergo antigen testing for the safety of course, kasi it's their house, no? So, of course, after, and ngayon kasi, we normally set up a day before para merong enough time yung couples to sanitize their house. And then, on the day, wala na kami. So, we just give them instruction on how to light the candles, and ganun lang. So, everything is done na a day before, and then we just go back after the event the next day. So, sabi nila, Daddy, naging mas mura ba ang setup ngayon because of intimate wedding? Parang parehas pa din because it took us 3 days ngayon to set up and then the day of the event itself and then to pull out. So, in terms of labor, naging mas longer yung namin, parang yung trabaho namin sa kanila mas long hours and days na. And then number 2, ang couple namin ngayon, we always tell them to get the essentials na. No? The essentials, normally pag ginawa sa bahay is their bridal bouquet, the backdrop for the ceremony, / nagiging 2-in-1 na yun, nagiging reception backdrop na rin siya. And number 3 will be the table centerpiece. So those are the essential setup that at least dapat meron ka when you're doing an intimate wedding. Alright, so aside sa setup time, and then the essentials, and then now, last June or July or August, nag-open up na ang mga restaurants. So they can accommodate at least 50% capacity of the restaurants under GCQ. So for example, for this coming weekend, so we have at least, for example, 100 seating capacity of a restaurant, pwede na maging 50 guests. So ngayon, lumalaki na yung setup natin. Nakakapag-invite na sila more of the guests nila. So ngayon, we can do a partial of ceiling installations, we can do a little, or we can do transformation na right now from ceiling to floor and to the table centerpiece. So they can get na yung parang how they envision the wedding, but on a smaller scale of guests lang muna. So the problem is, yung area na inaayusan namin, hindi naman siya nag-scale down. Kasi nga, ang capacity ng upuan ngayon, yung round tables natin ngayon, supposedly dapat 10-seater siya. Ngayon, 6 lang. So if for example, meron akong 50 guests, so dapat 5 na mesa lang yun, di ba? 6 lang nakaupo. So you will need at least 8 or 7 tables ngayon. So dumadami din yung in terms of tables centerpiece, madadagdagan din siya. And then of course, the area we're talking about, even before pandemic, same naman ang dimension nun eh. So that's why I always try to educate my client, Daddy, intimate na lang kami, 50 lang kami. Pero ganito pa rin kalaki yung area ng restaurant o ganito pa rin kalaki yung bahay mo. So it incurred cost pa din. Diba? Kasi as an stylist, we're working on a scale or in measurements or yung kung gaano kalaki yung area talaga. So, yun lang, nagugulat lang sila bakit parang almost the same rate or bakit medyo mamahal kasi nga yung area lumalaki, dumadami lang mesa, kahit konti yung bisita mo. So, we're trying to yun na yung mga new, ngayon, parang for some of our clients, so for those who are listening, parang mura ba internet? In some way, yes, because konti ang guess mo in terms of food, no? But in terms of layout, lalo kayo naka-spread out, lalong lumalaki yung space, and then for our stylist, lumalaki din yung decoration expense mo for that. So, but of course, at the end of the day, it's always the essentials that I mentioned, ang pinaka-importante, backdrop, bridal bouquet, and your table centerpiece for the presidential table and so you can still prioritize pa rin. But I think, but this is the best time also to get married nga because for most of our suppliers, nagkakaroon kami ng collaboration. For example, recently I had a package with a wedding gown, with a cake, with a photo and video and a bridal bouquet for me or a 3-table centerpiece for me for amount of like 150,000. So, parang in real world, oh my God, 150,000, baka Teddy charge mo pa lang yan. Alam mo yun? But in this, sorry, hindi pa ako, basta depende ko sa budget. But now, it's nice ito nga, on the lighter side of pandemic, nagko-collaboration ngayon ng mga suppliers. No? We work as one.
Yes.
We give them, a special rate or a special package, para to help them because we're all parang trying to save as much as we can for, we're trying to save talaga. So, we collaborate to give them a nice packages. So, I think that's one thing that happened na super nice. And then, the safety protocols that Kim mentioned is also part of our parang SOP na namin siya ngayon. Naging part na siya ng procedures namin. And then, of course, ang maganda pa sa intimate wedding ngayon, you can focus on the beautiful details na gusto mo. Yung kung gusto mo parang very editorial lahat, from the menu cards, from the place cards, to the table napkin, to the goblets that you want to use, or the charger plates. Kasi konti na lang bisita mo eh. So, but you can splurge on details. You can, and those
nice one.
People are super close mo na yon, di ba? So, might as well treat them special. Though, kasi normally, ang 20 people, VIP table lang yan sa isang wedding eh. Ngayon, entire wedding mo na siya. So, ayun lang. So, our bride and grooms are sobrang excited sila because they can do the things na hindi nila magagawa kung meron silang 500 guests or 300 guests. So, I think that's also nice for the intimate wedding that happened.
Yeah.
I like that idea that you're splurging on details, especially since people have been in quarantine. It's too much, parang they have to disinfect all the protocols, minimalism.
Lahat na lang.
Diba? The house should be minimalist if you want. So it's nice to just sit down at the table, celebrate with nice crystal, siguro, and flatware. No?
Oh, no.
And then celebrate
Very
intimately.
uplifting.
Yeah, with the couple. There's a joy to that. You've been talking about the way you work, Teddy, na it really takes a lot of inventiveness, creativity, at saka adaptability at this point, no? What else does it take to become a successful event stylist like you? I'm sure we have a lot of young ones who want to be in the same path as you have traveled also.
For me, it's important that you are you have to focus on your craft. No? So for an event stylist, there are two parang major knowledge and skills that you have to develop: the floral design and the event styling part. So and number two, with a wide exposure natin ngayon with the social media, di ba? It's hard to focus, di ba? Ano ka ba? Are you into opulent kind of design? Are you into more of the vintage type? So you always have to put your personality in what you do. I think that's very important, so that they will be like, oh my God, gawa to ni Teddy, because it reflects the identity, your taste on that design. So that's important that you have to develop that. So because generally, lahat ng event stylists magagaling, lahat kayang i-execute. But of course, that taste, that special touch, or and also that kind of experience that you want to share with the guest, na pag pumasok sila sa ballroom, I think that's very important that you have to develop that. That's why I came up with my master classes, because when I'm starting, it was so difficult, para how can you train to be an event stylist? YouTube lang ba? But there's no specific course that will help you. So that's why one of my advocacy is to educate, so that later on we have more event stylists that can work parang ethically right, and at the same time we will have a healthy competition, and of course there's a unity among us. I think that's what I'm trying to build in our industry. So I guess yun lang. So you have to develop your taste, and you have to develop your personal touch on that wedding, so that it will reflect your brand or your identity as an event stylist.
Good one. I'd like to ask, I'd like to ask Kim the same question. Parang, what does it take to be a successful events planner? And how do you train for that? Meron bang degree na events planning or coordination? Pero Kim, before you answer that, we'll pause for our last break for this show.
Click, click, that's it. Never thought self-service can be this slick. Modify plans in a snap, walang hirap. It's a wrap, just tap the app. Now you can check, view, subscribe, renew. Help and support for you. Out with the Ring Ring apps are the in thing. You know what to do. Globe at home and Globe One, all in the Globe app na yan. Self-service and easy to use. Mas okay tayo dyan. Globe at home and Globe One, all in the Globe app na yan. Instant response, no hold time pa, wala nang hintayan. Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe app na yan.
Download the Globe One and Globe at Home apps from Google Play Store and Apple App Store now.
Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe app na yan.
Bilang bagong mag-asawa, sabay kami natututo sa buhay.
Sabay rin namin inaaral ng mga bayarin sa bahay.
Kahit kami, nagtaka sa biglang laki ng electricity bill namin. Huwag pong mangambang maputulan. Sinisigurado ng Meralco na walang disconnection hanggang September.
Estimated bills lang ang natanggap natin ng March, April at para sa ilan, May. Dahil sa lockdown, isang tabi to para hindi na maguluhan.
Ang May o June ay actual meter reading na. Kung May nagka-actual reading, ibabawas dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran hanggang 3 buwang konsumo.
Kung estimated reading sa May at June nagka-actual reading, ibabawas din dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran. Hanggang 4 na buwang konsumo, walang labis. Tandaan, kung ano lang na konsumo,
Yun lang ang babayaran.
ako po si Mateo G.
At ako naman po si Sarah G.
G?
G!
Welcome back to PairFect. I am Dina Ventura and this is Francine Marquez and we're here with Teddy Manuel and Kim Torres. So Kim, kwento ka naman, how does one become a successful events planner?
We all have different kinds of process naman along the way, di ba? Some are newcomers, some are early bloomers. So we have school naman na like college school na may mga subjects about events and those are very basic details. So ako, what I experienced, I enrolled to Berlin Yap of What is Beautiful. Actually, going naman siya every year. It's more of a 3-month course, and then she'll be teaching you different kinds of weddings. Kasi when you say weddings, ang dami rin po niyan. There's a Muslim, Indian, Catholic and Christian. Tapos all types of weddings, they all have different kinds of process rin, of documents. And then sobrang dami pong details. Hindi siya po pwedeng part-time lang. When you want to be a successful planner, you have to be knowledgeable. You'll have to have that experience to be able to do different kinds of troubleshootings. You have to have a skill of troubleshooting kasi ikaw yung tatanungin na lahat, what will happen pag umuulan? Open yung area. What's next step? What's next step? Diba? So you have to have that skill talaga. And then you must be willing to accept critics to improve more. Kasi ikaw yung nakikita ng lahat eh. You are the middle person. Diba? Hindi ka pwedeng high or quick-tempered. Kasi if you have that type of person, ikaw yung middle eh, edi so lahat sila nagnahawa. Diba? You must really love what you are doing. Kasi nakakapagod talaga siya. I'm not ranting, pero totoong nakakapagod po siya. But if you love what you are really doing, at the end of the day, makarinig ka ng feedback, ang saya, sarap matulog, ang sarap matulog. And then, dapat hindi ka ganun kamahiyain. So, hindi pala ako mahiyain. Parang, kasi you'll be socializing with different kinds of people, different types of people. Meron talagang couple sila, merong bride sila, may guest sila. Meron pa nga sobrang bait ng couple, pero merong guest talagang aawayin ka kasi sila nag-RSVP, wala silang seat. But then you have to have that face na, okay sir, di ba? Kahit inaaway, minumura ka na and all. So, you have to practice those social communication din. And good communication too. Kasi again, since you are the middle person of the couple and the suppliers and guests, pag hindi ka good in communication, pag hindi mo marili yung tamang message from the client, what will happen on the event?
Tama.
Those are the basic details. To learn more, you have to enroll to Berlin Yap or at least man lang undergo. May mga different kinds of workshops naman po along the way, mga international courses din to learn about this. Or ako, I'm open naman to train. I train different kinds of students din sa team ko. Na, may PF din yun. Kasi once na, meron kasi akong motto na pag nagtrabaho yung tao, you have to pay that person. Diba? Kasi nagtrabaho sa iyo kahit pa paano, kahit estudyante pa yun. So yun, more of learnings. And then, when you say knowledgeable, hindi ka kasi po pwedeng magko-coordinate ka ng kasal na hindi mo alam kung gaano ka importante yung time management. Diba? With time management, pag sinabing 2 o'clock ang kasal, it means you have to be there 2 hours before sa church or at least an hour before the church ceremony.
Discipline.
So, and then, discipline. And then, you have to learn then respect. You have to respect your co-suppliers. Kasi hindi po pwede i-na susunod. You have to know then kung ano yung mga scope and limitations nila. So,
Wow. Galing, no?
Kaya a lot of insights.
Nakikita mo why they're so successful
So parang ma-attend rin tayo ng masterclass, Nina. So after all those lessons, what we want to find out naman, quickly lang, what are the trends right now in intimate weddings? Well, we can start with Teddy. What does it entail when you say intimate wedding? Aside from you mentioned essentials na, di ba?
That's right. So parang ngayon, the trend of course is yung Zoom wedding. No, parang that's why you need an event stylist or a florist because you need a nice backdrop. No? So parang tayo kasi naka-virtual background tayo, but in real sense kasi you need more three-dimensional backdrop para maganda naman yung render niya sa camera because you're invited only 20 people pero isuzoom mo pala siya in 100 people with your families and friends abroad and locally. So you need to come up with a nice backdrop. For that Zoom wedding, si Kim will discuss that, no? Kung paano niya pwedeng i-live stream yan. So, mamaya di-discuss ni Kim yun. And then number 2, diba? Number two, another trend is, you know what? Because importation, in terms of flowers, importation is very steep right now. So, what we do, we go back to basic. We encourage to buy local again. So, love local kami ngayong mga florists. So, ngayon parang I'm using mga, mga flowers ng Baguio. Nare-realize sa mga couple, oh my God, ang ganda nito. Local ba to? Imported. Those are local flowers, no? So, in another way, we're also helping out also our local farmers and local flower grower na magtanim ulit, no? Kasi ngayon is the best time to encourage them because right now, we incorporate maybe 70% of our decoration ngayon are mostly our local flowers. So I think that's a good thing also that happened during the pandemic or for our intimate weddings.
Kim.
Okay. Well, sa trend talaga, love conquers all, di ba? It says all Kasi, look, di ba, ang dami nangyari. Sobra, from the Taal eruption, the COVID, the Bagyo and all, pero there's still events. Meron pa rin tayong celebrations. Di ba? That's the number 1 trend, di ba? So, there, again, mentioned din ni Sir Teddy some of the trends, but on my side, more of the virtual naman, since trimmed down na po yung guest natin. So, what we usually do, we have this Zoom weddings, and then sometimes streaming din. Kasi marami po siyang definition But yung pinaka-trend sa virtual would be the Zoom. Para nakikita pa rin ng couple or yung mga physical guests, yung mga nasa Zoom.
Ayun.
So basically, yung mga additional practices pa for the reception. How to have an interactive program. Parang gano'n. Kasi for example, you have 10 guests, you have a host physically, you have your band physically, but the 200 or 300 guests are via the Zoom, di ba? So, gumagawa tayo ng mga online games. So, yun yung mga magandang aralin along the way. Kasi, ba't pa sila pinanood? If gusto mo lang mapanood, kinilang kumakain, sumusubo ng pagkain, hindi tayo nagpadala ka na lang ng food, di ba? And, so, those are the virtual. And another trend din is, nauuso na rin po yung, if you're eating bizu or if you're eating Juan Carlo, mga caterer na sikat yun in the industry, nagpapadala natin sila ng pack na ganon din yung branding.
Sa guest.
I've experienced that also.
It's nice. So kahit kumakain kayo habang
Meron ka ding
nanonood
box.
sila, sabi kayo kumakain pa rin. Though nakapack lang yun sa kanila. So those are the usual trends that we encounter po.
Okay.
So I guess it's tsaka iba rin yung experience pala, no? Kasi I've gone through that also. They sent a box. So while an event is happening, you're eating, they also send some liquor. So okay lang. So two-dimensional yung nangyayari. Merong the offline and online. So it's quite very creative na ngayon, ano?
And very different.
Yeah, very different.
Okay, so Ted and Teddy and Kim, before we end the show, because we lack the time na, but we're so, ang dami pa namin sa tanong.
We want to ask you more.
Para before we end the show, we'll show some pictures and then maybe you can quickly tell us lang what those pictures are about and maybe share a little bit about your work in the process.
Please add the caption to this photo.
Yeah, caption this.
Caption this game.
Okay, sige. Okay, we'll start. Kim to yata.
Oh, perfect. She's watching Celine.
Hi, Celine.
Celine po, she's the daughter of our Suki client in Highland Valley. They have their own resort in Nueva Ecija, which is Highland Valley. You have to check. And then, yung partner niya is Robbie Domingo, our host. Kasi yung team namin is, since name niya since Celine, naging Celinderella. Celinderella.
Ang galing.
So, very yung creative input, diba? And then, this
Ganda.
host namin, si Robbie, siya yung Prince Charming namin. Siya yung nagsuot ng glass shoes. Siya yung naging pinaka-escort in dancing.
Ang ganda ng shot. Ikaw ba kumuha niyan?
The photographer is, I think, Nice Print for this one.
Okay.
And then the overall styling, si Michael Ruiz. My lights, si High Impact.
Wow. Ganda, no?
So fairy tale, ano? Achievement unlocked.
Next. Oh, wow. Kay Teddy to.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Yan.
They're listening. Hello.
So ito naman, merong advocacy si Marian for Smile Train. And then what she did, she asked me to collab to do this Christmas wreath made of dried flowers. And then whatever she sold from that wreath, she donated to Smile Train. So that was our project with Floral Vida with Marian.
Okay. Next one. Ano to, mga...
ano po siya? Star Magic po. Last
Pogi,
year. Ayun, I was one of the I coordinated their shoot with Reggie Cruz. Siya yung wardrobe niya. And then my photographer is Chapter 1 Studios. And my video is
Okay.
Star Magic po.
Dami silang mga celebrity clients,
Oh, yan.
Another one.
Oh, yeah, guys. Si Lara. So that was a maternity shoot. And then it was just a studio. It was in the studio of Nice Print, the concept studio. And then parang we created into a more of a bohemian boho look naman. So we used a lot of dried flowers and dried leaves. And then also like parang those roses are lila. Those are like a chocolate dyed colored rose.
Where did you get them? Ganda.
From Holland.
Wow, flown in pa talaga. And then was
And
it
Ecuador.
against the wall? Parang how did you pose it? Against the wall or talagang installation lang?
So those are three-dimensional. So talagang medyo siguro it's around mga 4x4 meters. So it's kind of big for para talagang studio setup siya for the shoot.
Very elaborate.
Ganda.
Ganyan talaga.
Talagang three-dimensional.
Pwede
Yeah, thank
Manuel
you.
distinction.
Yes.
Next. Oh,
Ito yata yung Zoom wedding.
Zoom wedding.
Nice.
So, the coordinator here is Kiss the Girls. Ito yung collaboration na kinukwento namin ni Sir Teddy. It's more of the collaboration. Imagine, pareho kaming coordinator, but they got me as their live streaming supplier. So, nung nakita yung emotions talaga na, yun, kahit wala sila, di ba, they're very happy for the couple virtually. Pero iba pa rin po talaga yung physical emotion.
Of course.
Pag everyone, no?
Nakakamiss.
So, may question ako sa inyo. Do you cry at weddings? Parang the ones that you, at the end of, parang did you ever experience those? I'm sure, siguro, no? Napaiyak na ba kayo sa isang event na nangyari?
Ibang klaseng iyak ka, pero iyak na stress ka talaga.
What kind of cry?
Parang dapat tears of joy.
There's joy and love. Like, for example, pag meron ka talagang 2 years in the making na couple, tapos, like, I had din yung recently ko na sobrang dami na pinagdaanan because of the COVID, and then, like, schedule. At the end of the day, parang, oh my God, natuloy yung kasal mo. Tapos, parang na-attach ka na. Usually, majority of my clients are like that. Parang naging trauma ko at the end of the day na parang, ang sakit sa puso na hindi na kita masyado makikita dahil yun. And then, kapag yung mga bridal march na, yun nga, parang dahil may rin yung pinagdaanan or the song is very emotional. Diba? Nakaiyak talaga.
Kasi the moment, no, that you prepared for.
Moment is very priceless.
What about you, Teddy?
Teddy, pag nahulog yung flowers.
Yeah, I normally parang personally delivered the bridal bouquet, no? So parang parang first thing na makikita ng bride is the makeup artist, then susunod na ako to deliver the bouquet. And then parang halfway mini-makeupan yung bride, and then kasi pinapa-unwrap ko sa kanila yung bridal bouquet. Alam mo, doon palang umiiyak na siya. Nag-iiyakan na kami ng umaga. Kasi ang ganda. This is the bouquet that I want. And then she's very emotional. And then with Iza Calzado, when she saw there was a brooch of or parang a locket. So when she opened it, ano yung picture ng mom niya, and she started to cry. So nag-iiyak kami na.
Wow, those are priceless moments.
Emotional.
Those are parang I was like, I never thought that sometimes yung flowers talagang transcends emotions, no? So talagang, oh my God, parang for you, you did your job, you make it beautiful. Parang sa kanila, it's a different meaning. So doon nag-sink in sa akin na talagang, kaya mahal ko yung trabaho ko because hindi lang basta maganda, because I delivered experience and emotion to it.
Yes.
And I suppose beyond the physicality of it, it's really the memory that you're creating for these couples, their loved ones, families, no?
Tsaka nakakawala talaga ng pagod. Alam mo yung parang, oh my God, ito talaga yung job mo. Parang talaga nagpapasaya ka ng tao.
That's why we value people like Kim and Teddy, and now we must part ways.
Yeah.
Iyakan na tayo.
I'm so sorry.
We got attached. We got an hour. Within the hour.
But we really enjoyed talking with you this afternoon, and we hope to get a chance again. Maybe we can talk about something else again next time.
Yes.
But for the meantime, we just want to say thank you for joining us this afternoon on PairFect. This is Tina Ventura.
And this is Francine Marquez.
And this has been PairFect.
Ang Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators o POGO ay isang legitimate business entity na nagbibigay serbisyo sa offshore gaming para lamang sa mga manlalarong nasa abroad sa pamamagitan ng internet. Ang mga serbisyong handog nito ay katulad ng casino games at sports betting na pwedeng laruin kahit wala sa casino. Sa Pilipinas, walang POGO operators. Tanging POGO service providers lamang dahil nagaganap ang mga laro sa labas ng bansa.